Hey folks, and welcome back to another video. In this one, I want to talk about the new game announced to be releasing in the Division universe, the Division Heartland. The confirmed facts, a few safe assumptions, and a little speculation. Let's jump into it. So, if you missed it the other day, on the official Ubisoft Twitter, they announced a load of new stuff coming to the Division universe, from a mobile game, a novel, more Division 2 content, the movie, and a brand new standalone game, which we're going to be talking about in this video. But if you did miss the announcement, I did put together a very short video covering the main points of the news that I'll link in the top right and in the description. Before we dig into it, if you're new here, consider subscribing for the channel for detailed in-depth guides, full build breakdown videos, and Division news. With that, let's talk about the future addition to the Division franchise, starting with what we know as fact. This video is going to be speculation heavy, but these are the things we 100% know for sure. The Division Heartland is a standalone, free-to-play game in an all-new setting based in the universe of the Division. The game is being developed by the Ubisoft studio Red Storm Entertainment for PC, console and cloud gaming, and is expected to release around 2021 to 2022. So let's quickly go through a few of these points, what they mean and what we can expect. By standalone, it's referring to the fact that no previous experience or knowledge of Tom Clancy's Division 1 or 2 is needed to play, making it easier for new players to jump in without feeling like outsiders to the franchise. Personally, I think this is a great move, with it possibly leading more players to try out the Division 2, increasing the player base and getting them ready for the new content for the Division 2 coming later this year. The studio developing the Division Heartland, Red Storm, is best known by the Division community for working on a wide range of PvP or player versus player aspects of the Division 1 and 2, but they have also worked on a huge range of Rainbow Six and Ghost Recon games, as well as Far Cry 3 and 4. The game will be free to play, which I like, and it will definitely encourage more players to give it a go who may have not considered it. But games do need to make money, they are products and game studios are businesses. Nothing's been confirmed other than it being free to play, but I can see it having some type of battle or season pass, as well as possibly an in-game store for monetization. But that's just my speculation. Heartland is set to be a brand new setting to the Division franchise. We don't know where this is, but if I had to guess going off the title, I imagine it would be the Heartland of America, which refers to the central land area of the United States, including Alabama, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, Wisconsin, and more. So there are a lot of areas there it could possibly be set in. This also fits the background image we can see in the promo for Heartland, which has a Far Cry 5 feel to it. Currently, other than the facts I mentioned near the beginning of the video, nothing more is known or confirmed, including what kind of game we can expect it to be. So now it's time to put our tinfoil hats on and do a little deeper speculation. I've already mentioned a few things that aren't confirmed, but I do feel confident about the idea of the game having additional monetization, or possibly the location being the literal Heartland of America. But when it comes to what type of game we can expect from the Division Heartland, it's anyone's guess. But I do have a few ideas where this could be going. If I had to take a swing at the type of game we could expect from the Division Heartland, I imagine we will be seeing some kind of battle royale with heavy survival elements, similar to the original Survival. After all, the Survival DLC for the Division 1 was at its core a battle royale with PvE elements, if you chose to play the PvP version of the game mode. And there's a few things that have led me to this conclusion. First, and I don't think I'm the only person to jump to this conclusion, but with Red Storm being the studio to work on most of the PvP elements of the Division 1 and 2 so far, it's hard not to think that if Red Storm has been the studio developing Heartland, it must lean more towards PvP. Whether it's more pure PvP, which it feels we're currently missing in the Division 2, or whether it's more like the Dark Zone combining PvP and PvE, it's hard not to assume it will be PvP focused. As well as this, it also could be the reason we've seen very little PvP related updates for the Division 2, because the developers knew that a Division game with more of an emphasis on PvP was just around the corner for the agents who prefer their PvP to PvE. There was also a discovered leak on a Microsoft website for an Ubisoft property with the codename or nickname Incursion, with a player count of 102. Incursion feels like a reference to the Division 1 and could point to this leak being the Division Heartland, and a player count of 102 definitely feels right for a battle royale or survival game. At first, people thought this leaked post may be referring to a possible Division 3, but that player count seems way too high, even for a more ambitious Dark Zone. Of course, this leak could have also been nothing or false information. The only reason I bring it up is because it was found on an official Microsoft website. But the post has now been removed, and trying to follow the original link leads us to a webpage saying, "We are sorry, the page you requested cannot be found." There is also the fact that we know for sure that the Division Heartland will be free to play. And like I've already said, games are products and game studios need to make money from their games in order to build on the game or develop other games in the future. This means in some way, Heartland needs to be monetized somewhere, and it would be very difficult to monetize a single player experience. Not to say it's impossible, just very difficult. We were actually discussing this on stream the other day, and Ginge, one of our mods on the Abrax And Cooks Twitch channel, mentioned the idea that it could be possibly a single player game releasing in chapters, with the first chapter being free, then you pay for future parts, similar to the Telltale story games, like Tales of the Borderlands or their Batman game. And this could work, and I like the idea, but I'm not sure they would use the term free-to-play to describe an episodic game. I could see this having a backlash on announcement, with the game no longer being free-to-play after a certain point. I think it would be more likely that we'd see monetization in the form of a battle or season pass, as well as some kind of in-game cosmetics store, the kind of thing you'd expect to see from other multiplayer PvP and battle royale style games. Anyway, there are a few reasons my mind automatically jumped to a survival BR when I heard the announcement, and honestly, this is something I wouldn't mind seeing. But if I had it my way, I think I'd want Heartland to lean much more towards giving us simply one big Dark Zone. I used to play the Dark Zone in the Division 1 quite a lot and I really enjoyed it, and in the Division 2 it's just not been the same. I have put some thought into the idea of the new game being a dedicated Dark Zone, and at first I didn't really think it would work. You play, you extract the best gear, then just like in the Division 1 and 2, once you have the best gear and weapons, there wouldn't be much more to do. Plus, a system like this would also punish new players, putting them against players who have been playing the game for longer who are already fully geared, and this just wouldn't work. It would also stunt the player base and possibly create a lot of toxicity. It could maybe use some kind of currency system, where in-game you extract an in-game currency that you could spend on small buffs or starting gear when joining or starting a new game, which could work and be pretty fun, but that's just a random idea I had on the subject. I'd also really like to see crossplay make its way to Heartland if it is a multiplayer game, which I strongly suspect it will be. When Ubisoft changed from the old Uplay to the much newer Ubisoft Connect, they did say games released after Watch Dogs Legion should potentially be crossplay compatible. But crossplay is such a complicated topic with a lot more to it than just flicking a switch, which would take a whole video of its own just to explain, but if that's something you'd like to see on the channel, let me know in the comments. And that's everything for this video. Remember, the only things we know for sure is that the Division Heartland is a standalone, free-to-play game being developed by Red Storm Entertainment for PC, console, and cloud that will feature a new setting in the Division universe. Everything else I've discussed in this video is purely my speculation and a few educated guesses. What do you think the Division Heartland could possibly be, or what are you hoping for? Let's talk about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe for more Division Universe, looter shooter, and gaming content. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.